now, I believe that Mr. Colbert was personally selected by Ms. Jenkins to take her place and be here with us. So we're really excited for what you were going to bring. And I heard you guys talking about big shoes to fill. Absolutely. But I am in a strong belief that you will do just fine. So looking forward to it. All right. We are going to move on and go to our approval of minutes. And we're going to do that by roll call. But we need to have someone make a motion.
I motion that we approve the minutes in the agenda.
Thank you.
For note taking, Dr. Sully, can you just call out who the person is that motioned so we can be clear?
Oh, absolutely. No, not a problem at all. And I believe that that was Commissioner Hanson who moved for us to approve the agenda.
Commissioner Berkey, second.
Thank you, Commissioner Berkey, for the second. Any discussion on the agenda? Okay, then we'll be taking this by roll call. Commissioner Berkey,
Approved.
Commissioner Goldstein,
Approved.
Commissioner Hanson,
Approve.
Commissioner Colbert,
Approved.
okay, Commissioner Mack,
Approved.
I approve, and okay, Commissioner Berlin is not here yet, so I believe that that was 6. I wasn't counting them, so was it 6 to approve? Yes, okay.
Everyone
Yes.
approved. Sorry.
Okay, so it was unanimous. All right, so the motion carries, and we move on to the approval of the, have to talk about the minutes.
Need a motion?
Yes,
I motion we approve the minutes.
Commissioner Hanson, thank you for moving to approve the minutes.
A second?
Commissioner Berkey, seconding the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Berkey. You know, any of the commissioners can move or a second. Okay, with that, are there any discussions about the minutes? Okay, Commissioner Berkey.
I approve the minutes.
Thank you. Commissioner Goldstein. Approve. Commissioner Hanson.
Approve.
Commissioner Colbert.
Approved.
Commissioner Mack.
Approved.
And I approve. That is 6, so we are unanimous. Thank you. At this time, will be the time for public speakers who have registered in advance. They'll be permitted to share for a limit of 3 minutes. They by their name and, if applicable, any affiliations. And then at the end, I will ask the commissioners if they have any questions for the speaker. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, we do. We have one that's scheduled. Khadija, what's the person's name? Can you share that?
Yes, we have Robin Lingo, who is the executive director of 826DC, one of our grantees, which is a nonprofit that offers free writing programs and publishing opportunities to youth in the district.
And she is here, Dr. Sully, Commissioner Sully, Chair Sully.
Okay, great. Well, welcome, and we look forward to hearing what you have to share with us.
Great. Thank you all so much. As was said, I'm Robin Lingo. I have the great pleasure of being the executive director for 826DC, which is a longtime partner of Learn24, and really glad to be here tonight. Thank you, Dr. Sally, and all of the other commissioners for making a few minutes for us to provide some comments. I'm coming to share some promising practice from our work, and also highlight a challenge I know many of our peer organizations also have, and talk about some of the ways we've worked to resolve that. But just to start, 826DC is a writing organization helping young people ages 6 to 18 develop a lasting positive relationship with writing. that catalyzes their ability to live into their fullest potential. We envision a future in which every young person in DC is able to confidently use writing to communicate their experiences, explore new ideas, and enjoy the creative process. And most importantly, we see our work as an opportunity for young people to know and see the inherent value of their voice and their stories. And much of our work involves not only helping young people have access to the tools and skills of writing, but also publishing their work so that we as adults can all learn from the wisdom, perspective, and creativity of our city's young people. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll get to it. So, with the support of Learn 24 and that OST, we offer our after-school writing lab from 3 to 6 at our facility here in Columbia Heights for 50 students. We have 2 cohorts, a Monday and Tuesday cohort for 25 students, and a similar Wednesday, Thursday cohort for 25 students. Like many other after-school programs throughout the city, especially ones that are not school-based, transportation has served as one of our biggest challenges in recruitment and retention. As you can imagine, it is not easy for working parents or parents at all to be able to get off of work and transport their students at the 3:30 hour over to out of school time programs. So back in school year 2023-24, we got a small grant actually from Humanities DC to launch a transportation pilot that involves a walking transportation program that we staff with an extra staff person to partner with Tubman Elementary School to bring young people from Tubman Elementary School to our after school spot at the corner of 14th and Park in Columbia Heights. That was funded for the first year. The second year, we have funded it out of general operating, but continues to be a priority for us. And especially, I'm here to just talk about how that partnership has increased our retention, our enrollment, and our attendance. So, and also has really helped us develop a stronger relationship with Harriet Tubman Elementary School as a core partner of ours and be able to serve the young people that we most are intending to serve and make sure that all of the out of school time programs are accessible to working families and to families that that are not able to make that transportation walk on their own. Oh, okay. I'll just say, if I know you all got the report. You'll see that our Monday, Tuesday cohort, which involves the walking pilot, has much higher rates of enrollment, attendance, and retention than our Wednesday, Thursday. We are hoping to be able to expand it, but would need additional funding.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about the pilot and how well it has been working for you. Commissioners, are there any questions that you have?
I do have a question. What were your top 3 findings from the pilot study?
Yeah, I think our top 3 findings are that transportation really matters, and it is a core need for parents. There are some quotes from our parents at the end of the report that show how vital our walking transportation pilot has been to them being able to access our program. And that second of all, it helps us increase attendance and retention year over year when families have that level of security and partnership, and when we can partner with a school to be able to identify the students they would recommend for our services, regardless of families' ability to get them here.
Can I ask one other question? Right now, would that, for you guys specifically, 826 DC, do you already offer that, or would that be an additional cost to be incurred for you all?
So we offer it on Mondays and Tuesdays because that is all we can budget-wise off. We have to hire an additional part-time staff person so that there is consistency. I know a question could be, why wouldn't you use volunteers? But we need to have the consistency to know that there is somebody the young people have a relationship with that we can rely on. Right now, we are only able to have those additional staffing hours and pay for somebody on Monday and Tuesday. So we're looking to be able to expand it to Wednesday and Thursday cohort and have a identified partner elementary school, which would be HD Cook.
I have one other question, but I'll pause in case others have questions. My other question was, the person you're hiring, is it like a contracted company that does this for a living, or is it somebody hired that like just wants to
Yeah.
make some extra money
Yeah.
and drives? And is it like a 15-seater? Like what kind of, how do you transport kids?
Yeah, so no, it's so the person we hired is actually a former DC public school teacher who is now a stay-at-home dad and is looking for was uniquely looking for part-time employment with a specialization in elementary education. Um, and the students literally walk. He walks to Tubman and then he
I
walks them
see.
with 20 students from Tubman Elementary School to our site. Tubman used to be just around the block from us, but as they are under construction, they're now almost a mile away. So Connor, our staff member, our part-time staff member, walks those 15 to 20 students close to a mile on Mondays and Tuesdays.
So transportation is not necessarily like a physical vehicle. It's someone who can take kids safely to and from.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any other commissioners have questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, a walking bus.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Thank you very much for sharing the information.
thank you.
Got like 18 screens, guys. Sorry. All right. I am going to, question? Okay. I am going to move us to looking at what we're going to be talking about this evening. There are actually a few topics that we have on our agenda for this evening. And the first one will be for talk about the OST needs assessment and a status update. Before I get to that, and I'm not even sure if it was this the right exact time, but I think it's important to recognize the fact that when we talk about the OST needs assessment, it's already underway. It's already happening. And there are a lot of things that we're already learning. And so I think that that's extremely insightful. The fact that we are learning some things when we talk about the needs assessment, we recognize the fact that we all don't have the same information and don't collect all the same data. And so I'm going to ask, who wants to speak on that? Or do you want me to go and do it?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
You can have, so from my office, I am having Shannon to do the coordination
Okay.
across agencies, so she can speak on it on our behalf.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, just a quick update. It was very late in the year for the FY25 needs assessment for us to actually secure a vendor. That was actually completed in May of FY25. So we have been working very quickly to complete as many components as possible. We are looking to obtain FY25 data since typically we use the data from the previous year because the current year of the needs assessment data wouldn't be complete. But because we are now finishing fiscal year FY25, we are looking from our agencies, our sister agencies, to receive data on FY25 programming as well as FY24 so that we can compare across years. That is being worked on currently. We have data sharing agreements with multiple agencies, OSSI, DCPS, DPR, DYRS. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. But we are working to obtain that data so that we can best report out, including our office's data, on where exactly programming is taking place currently using government-funded grant dollars or local dollars to provide direct services, such as in the case of DPR. Also, who we are serving, and that's where we see a lot of gaps in the data that is being collected around demographics of students, et cetera. We conducted an OST provider survey to get feedback from providers across the district, whether they are government funded or not, in regards to their ability to expand. As we talk about the ability to serve all youth, we need to think about what is the capacity of our existing providers to do that, even generally, as well as for students with disabilities, English learners, et cetera, where there may be additional requirements. So we completed that, and we had 145 providers that actually work currently in the district that provided feedback. So that's helped us to assess where our providers are. We currently have a family survey open, as we do not have direct engagement with families. We are relying on third parties to send that out, including the public schools and our partners. If you have any are involved with any stakeholders that have direct outreach to families, please, we will provide the link in the chat. And if you can share that out, we are hoping, if you are a parent yourself, please complete it. We would like to increase the number of families who have responded to that so that we better understand where DC families stand as it relates to their interests, their needs, etc. We are also going to be assessing youth surveys from both our grantees, the over 150 plus grantees that have students that completed the SEO survey this past year, as well as 21st Century and DCPS out of school time survey. So we'll be looking at that to kind of assess the youth voice and where that stands in their satisfaction, etc. So it's a lot of work. We're working on it. We meet weekly with the vendor, and we hope to have drafts available and out to the public. Well, yes, starting a review process in December of this year, so that we can close this up, this FY25 needs assessment, by the end of the calendar year. We will have to go through Executive Office of the Mayor for some review process that can take time, and it may not actually be published until after calendar year 2026 starts, but we do hope to be in the review process by December. Any questions? Yes, Commissioner Hanson.
Thank you so much for that update. I think you may have answered it at the very end. So you said it may not be published until the start of calendar year 2026. Do we anticipate it, or do we anticipate it being released ahead of oversight season? And are there any delays that you can imagine that might hold it up? And I say that in part because I can remember, I think maybe 4 years ago, I think this is before most people here were involved, but I remember one of the initial Learn 24 annual reports that had important data about number of students served, grants, everything like that, was not released until well after the end of, I think, oversight and budget season.
Commissioner Hassan, that is our goal, to get it out ahead of time to serve as I don't want to say ammunition, but like motivation for folks to invest in OST. It has to go through a number of approvals before we can make it public to anyone. And I will attest that Shanna is working diligently weekly with our vendors to keep us on track. Right now, we are the little train that could. We are on track, so to speak, but it definitely is requiring a lot of manpower for us. But to your question, our goal is to get it out prior to then, but please know as well simultaneously that it does require a lot of approvals prior to it being made public. And depending on how those approvals go, it could keep us on track or it could slightly delay us, but we do want it to happen before oversight season comes up.
We'll also be sharing preliminary data even before publication, especially with the Strategic Planning Committee as they're developing the goals for the FY27-30 strategic plan, because it's so essential that we rely on the most up-to-date data. Commissioner Mack?
Yes, really exciting to hear. And I just for some context, you had mentioned it was 145 providers that responded out of approximately how many? Just curious on your response rate.
Well, we sent it out broadly. So we sent it out through our providers, which interestingly enough, I would say, I don't have the exact figures, but I would say roughly 50% of our providers, which is about 150, responded.
Oh, okay.
So they're not all our grantees. The
Thank
Commission on Arts and Humanities sent it out, DPR sent it out, OSSI sent it out to their providers. We also put it in the Learn 24 newsletter that just goes to, fee-based providers, anyone in kind of the out of school time landscape. So we did really well with getting feedback, we feel, across the broad spectrum of providers. We'd like to do the same with our families. That's where we're struggling a little.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Of course.
Any other questions? Okay, so thank you for that overview. There are a few things I want to add to that because for the next two topics, we're really talking about data. And I think it's important for us to recognize that we were just asking for data for 24 and 25. And we're going to be able to get a report, hopefully, January, February timeframe. It is not a little feat to accomplish that. It's huge. And it takes a lot of time and money to make those things happen. And so we really have to keep that in mind when we start talking about gathering additional information. We had the opportunity, I, being the chair, had the opportunity to meet with Deputy Mayor Kine. And I want to talk a little bit about that right now because it's connected to some of this stuff that we're discussing as far like a needs assessment and being able to get data and what does that mean and what does that look like and what data do we want to collect from all the different agencies, because we submitted the proposal to him that came from, was it quality? I think it was quality. Collaboration, coordination. I think everybody had a little hand in it, but where we were talking about definitions, what data we need to collect, how often. We talked a little bit about strategic activities. And I believe that you guys all have do they all have the memo? I'm wondering that we sent out.
Well, it was approved, so they have
When
to
it was
have it,
approved.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. I just want to make sure that they, everyone knows what we were discussing with Deputy Mayor Kine. And one of the things, first of all, he definitely agrees with the direction that we're going. But he had some incredible insights that I really don't think that we dug in deep enough to learn. One of which is we have to figure out when we want data, what that means and what that looks like. And when I say that, what I mean is some of our programs are for an hour. Some of them were for 15 hours. We're going to have different levels of data. So we need to think about, does that mean that we ask for different levels of data depending on what type of program it is that's out of school? And so those are deeper conversations for us to figure out. Another thing that we need to think about is we don't want to add additional like work where they need additional staff to do some of this data collection. And so we want to make sure things are reasonable as well. And so we need to dig a little deeper in that to see how data is collected, who does it, do they need additional people, what it costs, and so forth, especially because there are some programs that probably did not collect data at all, and we now need them to. The other thing that we need to really think about, and this one, I have to be completely honest with you that I've always thought about it, but I was not able to give the answer the way I really wanted to because we know that it's important for us to collect data. We know that it's important for us to analyze where we are and where the gaps are and things like that. But let's start thinking about it as to what problems are we trying to solve? What are we trying to get at? How are we trying to make things better or different? And I think that that is going to be extremely helpful for us to know and to understand as we develop the strategic plan for 27 through 30. There's going to be, this is an opportunity for us to take the ideas that we had, expand upon them, and put them in the strategic plan so that we know that it will be able to get done. He, like I said, he being Deputy Mayor Kine, was very open to our ideas, and he is looking forward to hearing more. Did I miss anything, Dr. Lowe, Ms. Sampson? Okay. All right. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand we did take it forward. We got some feedback and we are definitely headed in the right direction and we're going to make it work. All right. So the next topic was anything else about the OST needs assessment? All right. The next topic
just please disseminate the survey, the family survey. Khadija put it in the chat and also has Shanna. Any families you know, we have it in another language, right? But yes, please, any families you know that have youth in DC, or just families in general, children in DC schools, charters, public, private, please help us get our numbers up. Anyone who will listen, who is interested or who is not interested, please, it is available in Spanish and in English for those who are multilingual families.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. The biennial progress report. All right, process determination. A couple of things that we really need to determine. We've talked about this, we've voted on this, we've said that it's going to be every 2 years, and this is very different than the needs assessment. And when I say that, what I mean is the needs assessment is done by a third party. The biennial progress reports will be done by grantees to be able to share information. How are we doing that? Let's go back to that question. Who is supposed to be involved in this? What agencies? When are we asking it to be due? Are we going to need data sharing agreements? Like, as we started thinking about that, there were so many other questions that came up that we didn't have specific answers to. At least I don't. I think we said potentially September 30th was going to be the deadline for the biannual reports to be submitted, but there are many more details that we need to iron out. So let's start with opening this up for a little bit of a discussion. Who and what agencies? Or is it by grantee? How are we making this determination? Thoughts?
I can share that just, feedback from the committees is that when and Commissioner Hanson, please interrupt me if I'm speaking, if you would like to add to this or I speak out of turn. But I remember when we were updating the progress report template as a part of the recommendation to the commission, and that's gone to DM Kind in regards to collection of data across the district. As the agencies and even the OST providers that were engaged looked at it, what it definitely appears as if it would be done at the agency level on behalf of providers, but it's difficult to think about, and to some degree, like for DPR, are they completing it by site? Are they completing it by, across the agency, and just like thinking in that lens, DCPS completing it on behalf of all of their providers, OST office on behalf of all of our grantees, but just making certain that the progress report is accessible in a way that allows that, because some of the questions almost could vary based upon who you're responding on behalf of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the things that jumps out to me when you say that is, if we're doing it at the agency level, we still are going to have to be able to scaffold it so that we can understand who's doing what per agency. And you gave a great example. Okay. Data sharing agreements. Are they needed? And if so, how is that going to work? Yes. Commissioner Perky, hi.
Hi there. I'm at my desk now instead of on the phone. So thank you for for indulging me as I got home here. I'm just reflecting on the notion that different DC agencies would be able to provide data about partner programs. I don't think we could do that. I think we could only probably provide data about things like that DCPS is doing, not what all the organizations that work with DCPS are doing. We don't have that information. on their program activities. So I think there'd be some limits there, but I think that a data sharing agreement between the DME's office and the different agencies is probably important for all of the work, whether it's the biennial progress report or the official biennial needs assessment. I think hopefully the data sharing agreements are being developed in a way that's broad enough to encompass both. Like some sort of annual data reporting, right? That's it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Colbert?
Margaret stole my thunder a little bit there. +1 to everything she just said, especially when it comes to if you do it on an agency level, DCPCSB does not collect that for our charter schools. And so I would just be worried about if we were to do it by agency level, how the charters would be affected by that.
Yeah, Commissioner Jenkins was always very strong in stating such. And just as a reminder, as we begin this new fiscal year, that there isn't an umbrella group for charter schools. We would either, we talked about it would be those that were funded because, and I apologize, when I talk about partners, I'm talking about government funded for partners that are funded through our agencies. And so it would be up to like OST to report on the charter schools that are funded, for example. Any additional LEAs, it would, like, that's where that becomes the question is what, is there any ability to mandate that they report on any extended learning programs? At this point, there is not. So it would be voluntary. Encouraged, but voluntary.
Deadline of September 30th, is that still what we're looking for? Will we have all of the data? And we're talking about for FY26, which means that we're looking at next. We're talking about FY25? I see you shaking your head, Commissioner Berkey. That's why I'm looking.
Well, I guess if next year is the off year, if this year is needs assessment, then yes, FY26 is that's so we're talking about September
Of
30th of
26.
26, right? To look back at 25-26 school year, roughly.
Yes, the school year that's starting, that we're in right now in October.
That we're in right now, in which summer pertains to that reporting as opposed to
It's a great question.
the other
And
ones.
I understand your question. It from October 1st to September 30th, so it would be the summer of 26.
Okay.
Because we're looking at the whole fiscal year. So be the summer of 26.
The only caveat the only caveat
No,
I
go
want
ahead.
to give is that September is an incredibly busy time for my team because we are closing out one fiscal year, ramping up for a new fiscal year, and we're going to have a new competition of new grantees for FY27. So we will have grantees who have never been a part of the fold or the network as yet, who will have to sometimes handhold to kind of understand how things are done in government. And 9:30 is a lot of things for us. It's invoicing, it's compliance, it's onboarding, it's prepping our systems and our processes, it's training up our grantees, it's welcoming, it's orienting, and et cetera, et cetera. So something to be mindful of that, if we don't produce something with immediacy around that time, or if all the data is not received from others at that time, grace should be granted because that is peak season for the OST office.
And it is also peak season at OSI. So it everything that you just said, we are dealing with a lot of the same exact things. So the September 30th deadline is definitely difficult for us to be able to submit data about programming. And to be completely honest with you, OSTE grantees don't even give me all of that data on September 30th. And so that'd be changing deadlines for them too. So, and I don't necessarily want to do that. Later in October makes a little bit more sense to me to grab some of the information, the data, but then it also, when we're looking at that, we also have to think about what's the purpose of the reports and what are we doing with them? I know we talk a lot about, oh, we want to have data, we want to have data. To have data is incredible and it definitely makes a difference and it helps us. But what are we doing with this report? How is this going to make a difference? When we get the data, when we get it together, then what? Commissioner Goldstein, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair Sally. And I think what you've just said, I think echoes a lot of what I was thinking as well. And I think it's a great North Star for us to have. I think I had kind of a similar question, but from a different angle, which is that I know that the OST office does these like really comprehensive annual reports on your grantees, right? It's looking at like who your grantees are, where they operate, what kind of programming they offer. And so I was trying to understand, I think, like how the biennial progress report kind of complements that. Like, is it, I think, guess like, is it either possible that it pulls from that for the OST grantees, sorry, OST office grantees, and then, you know, we're supplementing with other Learn 24 partners, or is there a way that we can like complement, like be providing new data that is not surfaced? Again, to I think Dr. Sally's point of like, you know, working smarter, not harder, and making sure that the data is like, you know, revealing something that's helpful.
Dr. Lowe, would you like me to jump in or?
Go ahead.
Okay. And so, yes, we already recognize the fact that the OST office puts out their report, and instead of having a completely different report, it would be about OST within the district. That would be the purpose and the reason for the report. Is that correct, Dr. Law? I want to make sure. God bless you.
Sorry,
I don't know why I did like
sneeze.
that with you, but okay.
Sorry. Could you repeat the last part of what you just said?
Sure. I was saying that we weren't trying to use this as a separate report. It would be an OST office report about OST in the district.
The district. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that would be the point of it. But I also see a couple of hands up, so I'm going to go there first. Commissioner Mack.
Yes, again, with my learning curve. So pardon me on some of my questions. Going back a little bit in terms of whether or not a data sharing agreement is needed, I'm trying to listen closely as to what kind of data are being asked for, because is this something, you know, if it's de-identified, you're talking mainly utilization data. I'm just not clear, because I'm trying to imagine what this would be like with data sharing agreements with what it sounds like a lot of different partners and grantees. Commissioner Selly, I see. Yes. So some ways that sometimes that's handled as putting in the grant agreements the requirements of certain data that are expected, you know, and at certain times. Obviously, we don't want to add more of a burden, but so I just kind of curious, and it ties into Commissioner Goldstein's question as well of, and I think everyone's asking, you know, what is the purpose? What are we hoping to gain from this? So when we talk about OST across the district, are we then comparing it to specific, you know, is it a comparison? Like what are we trying to gain and learn and be able to do with it? Because I might argue that hopefully we wouldn't need data sharing agreements.
So the only thing I can tell you about the data itself is that it's definitely aggregated. There's no PPI in it at all. And so as far as the data sharing agreement,
Exactly.
I don't know what each agency requires. And so it may be different for every agency. And that's the hard part. So that's a little bit more we need to find out about, but we are not asking for any PPI.
Right. Because I don't know, Commissioner Lowe, as you mentioned, you're in the process or will be soon of issuing new grants. You know, would that be something, would that be burdensome? Does that give you pause to think to add that as a requirement for, you know, grantees? But Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Commissioner Berkey and then Dr. Love.
Yeah, I was just recalling that the one of the thoughts about these interim reports was that they might be able to help us measure progress on some of the key issues that were identified in the needs assessment report. For example, the prior needs assessment highlighted that there was desire in the District of Columbia to serve more children with disabilities in after-school programs. And so by capturing data on an annual basis, we might be better able to see whether progress is being made and not have to wait until each round of the needs assessment was completed. So that was one thought, that it would give us a way of taking a quick look in a snapshot sort of way at whether we were increasing the rates of students with disabilities that are being served, for example, or if transportation issues were highlighted by families as a concern and whether their children could access programs. And we might want to look in the off-year report at asking questions about the use of transportation services associated with students getting to programs and seeing whether there's any expansion of participation with those issues being addressed. So I think that was the thought, is that we would be able to better focus our work on these issues as a city if we could capture data in an ongoing way and not wait every few years for a needs assessment to be done. And I think with regard to the data sharing itself, there's always been a question, I think, about whether organizations were going to be providing raw data to the Learn24 data specialists and having them crunch the numbers, or whether we were doing our own evaluation work at different agencies and then providing summaries to Learn24. And I don't know that that was ever fully resolved because it was a little bit unclear about how the actual work on this project was going to be accomplished within the Learn24 core staff. So, you know, again, it depends. Like if we were providing raw data that had participant numbers and their demographics and their homes of residence and schools of attendance and all of that stuff, and you guys at Learn24 were going to do all that data number crunching, then that would be one thing. That forms, you know, a different type of data sharing agreement than maybe just giving you an aggregate report. So anyway, just a couple comments on those things.
I want to thank you, Commissioner Berkey. So to your question, Dr. Sully, Chair Sully, I do see the value of the whatever shape it takes, the report. The reason why I see the value is that it's because right now there's no centralization yet of the data for OST and DC government. So the value for me is the centralization of the numbers, and it's not only the numbers. That is one portion of it, right? The value is the centralization of the numbers, the centralization of the need, and also of the impact. So what dent, if any, are we making as a collective and also individually in DC government, in the OST space, as a district, as a collective, as a part of the Learn24 network? We know that not all agencies capture OST in their annual reports. And so this is a way for us to do that. The recommendation was made about kind of like tacking it on to or adding it on to our annual report, which I am for or in support of. But if we collect this data and centralize it, it will convey our impact as a collective. And it also makes the case for OST in DC government funding, for the council, etc. I mean, we currently do make the case, but it could be a bit more cohesive and streamlined. I always say we are stronger as a fist when compared to a finger. And so just thinking of that visual of centralizing our work, be able to see what DPR, RC, etc. is doing in one location. If council wants to see the numbers, we know this annual report comes out every year, and from it we can see all of these government agencies and what they do. It makes things easier, it makes us more compelling, and it makes us, quite frankly, look good. Well, that's not necessarily the primary goal. the last thing I wanted to say that is that, so the question about data collection, I am in support of my team kind of receiving the data and making sense of it. But I did share the caveat with that is that right now we have been full transparency. We have funding for two data team members for my office. One is a manager and one is a data analyst. Our manager right now is going on 2 years without having his data analyst role filled. We have tried at least 5 rounds, but we're finding that all of our candidates are international students. Like, and require sponsorship. And we've literally had to go back to the drawing board every single time. We try to tease it out a little bit, though we know we can't. Oh, right. Well, we try to tease it out, but my point is that the role has been very challenging to fill. And yes, we would do it on behalf, we are happy to do it on behalf of everyone to give us the data and we clean it up, but we need the manpower or the personnel, the human capital to do that. And please know as well that that is in addition to his other responsibilities, because he does have additional responsibilities for our office in particular. So we are open to doing it, but just know that, and also with the hiring freeze, indefinite, we don't know when it's going to open up. Is it 10/1? Is it 12/31? We don't know. But that's what I wanted to share to give additional color and context to the conversation.
And frankly, even the task of aggregate data is a big enough task, right? So so there's a whole process there. So I think understood that the human needs on your end are not trivial, and I think we've been worried about that from the beginning with this issue.
Oh, okay. And so this is what I've gathered so far. FY26 data is going to be due when? I need that in part because we said September 30th is probably not the best time. And so what other time frame would be better? Recognizing the fact that is there a specific time frame that your reports have to come out, your yearly reports have to come out, Dr. Lowe?
In theory or in practice? Which one do you want?
Just kidding. Put it like this. If you got data the end of October, would that throw you completely off?
So I'm actually going to tap Shannon right now because she works most close with the grants team. So technically speaking, our reports for the annual report are supposed to be out in November-ish. And they also have to go through, is it, forgive me, Marissa, Commissioner Goldstein, is it JIC? Is that the wrong one?
It goes through IQ because it's council mandated.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's council mandated, it has to go through IQ, and so that might take some time. But supposed to be around November. Recently has been around December/January because of the checks and balances that are in place to make sure that what we're doing is vetted, reviewed, reconciled, etc. So I wanted to tap Shannon because she's mostly connected to the grants team and their data collection, and when those things are due for that. So if you could provide, please, Shanna, some insights into when end of year reports for us as an office, not for other agencies, are typically due, and maybe or may not have insights into how quickly that data can be turned around for publication. I'll pause.
Yeah, certainly. We have, for example, this year, all final reports were due from our providers by September 13th. It's typically within 30 days after the end of the summer season, which is when school year starts. So by mid-September, have the data. Once the data is in, it's just a matter of running a report. So September 30th works for us as far as having the data, the aggregate data in a report. Now, the process of assessing it and then reporting it in an annual report, and that process, of course, would take more time, but we would be able to provide the data to you by September 30th.
I'm curious, thank you, Shannon. Are there any other folks on the call who knows their reporting cycle, if they do have a reporting cycle where 9:30 would be of concern?
I think
Mr.
Dr.
Berkey?
Sully. I think Dr. Sully mentioned this. Just that the 21st Century Grant reporting period. Our final reports on the previous year are due on October 30th. So or 31st or whatever. So we aim for that point. And, because we're looking at a lot of academic outcome data, some of which isn't even available to us until now. So, I mean, if it's just raw demographics, if you're really just counting heads, that's one thing. It depends on what data you're collecting, right? As to when it might be available and really fully, tabulated and evaluated by our external evaluators or even internally.
Yeah, and so that's why I was saying it's really important of what information we need. Um, because I also heard you, Dr. Lowe, say the word impact. And whenever I think of the word impact, that automatically makes me think about what difference are we making, what change is happening, whether that's in attendance or academics or whatever, the social emotional well-being, any of that. And so we're gathering that type of information. I know that we will not have it in September. There's no question about that, because as Commissioner Berkey said, it takes much longer for us to even get any of that information. It's embargoed for a long period of time, and it just takes time. And then I also wanted to throw this out there too, because my mind is like going crazy now. I'm like, well, all these ideas, because I heard you say it's maybe supposed to come out maybe in November. And then I started thinking like, well, who says that we have to do it from October 1 to September 30th? What if we do the school year and then we collect data in June or, and then the next summer? So it would have been the summer that just passed and up until June. Like, does that work? And that gives you more time and another time frame from when we're submitting information, depending on what it is that we're looking for and asking for. We're open to that's why I like this discussion is a way for us to try to figure out what makes the most sense. What should we do? And maybe we do it from October to September for this year to see how it works. This is a trial period. Let's see what happens. So back to what I was originally saying, we need a due date as to when it is due, and then we'll figure out what is due exactly. So when is a good time? September 30th is what I hear you saying, Ms. Sampson. Okay.
No,
You guys can
but
do,
hold
but I
on. You
thought we
guys
just
said
said
October.
because of all the,
We have to have a happy medium, because if we're okay with September 30 and you guys have October something, like that's not going to work. We have to figure out what works for the whole. So
yeah.
the two questions I have are: is that October 30th or 31st deadline a hard deadline? Can it be moved or not? And if not, that's fine. And if it can't be moved, then we need to consider something that's later. And also, I love the idea of after school, like a kind of like a transition in of like perhaps this summer and then the school year only for the first round. That's an excellent idea from my vantage point. So whatever is decided upon, it has to be something that works for all folks who are on the call.
Yeah. Like if we're doing the school year, I know that I'd be able to have information to be able to give to you something around September 30th. But when we start talking about the summer too, all of that information is not with us yet.
So then why don't
So
we do summer of 2025 through end of school year June of 2026? And I'm okay if folks oppose or like are have a polar opposite opinion or thoughts, but what do folks think? So I said summer, so this past summer that just passed, and then take us through to June of 2026.
mm-hmm. Commissioner Berkey, that's what you guys do now.
Wait,
For
I'm just
21st
trying
century.
to, this is, right, this is for the data that will go into the annual report, or are we still talking about the biennial progress report?
We're talking about the biannual report right now that goes into Dr. Lowe's annual report.
Okay. So it's the summer of 2025, which, right, is the one we just finished.
Mm-hmm.
And then
to June of 26.
Right, in the past school year, right.
Say that again.
Oh, in the next school year, right. It's the
Yes.
same thing. Yeah, right.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the same thing. We're just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a big change for you, is what I'm saying. It would not be a big change for you.
It depends on what data is being requested. It still goes back to that. It still goes back to that. It's, you know, if it's just raw numbers and demographics, then we can produce that in time for September 30th. If it's outcome data, then that's a different matter. It would be more readily available for the summer, you know, of the previous year, basically, than it will be for the school year that has just finished. Yeah, that finished in June. We still might be waiting on some of that outcome data. Like right now, I think our evaluator has completed the analysis of our demographics of participants from last year. We have student survey data, we have parent survey data, we have a lot of data. What we don't have is the analysis of all of the park score improvements and those types of things. So that's where we're still crunching, and that will be ready by the end of October, but it won't be ready by the end of September. And that would be typical of any year, not just this year.
Yeah, and it will. When we're talking about outcome data. Yes.
So again, it all depends on what's being asked.
But going back to the biannual report, progress report, I don't recall outcome data in part of this report. So we're really, you're shaking your head, right, Ms. Sampson? There's no outcome data in this report. Outcome data is one of those things that I'm going to always push for, guys. I'm always going to want us to have outcome data. Right now, we are looking at seats and where gaps are. And so based on that, if it's similar to what I just had to do for the needs assessment, it can be done. But if it's additional information, then it can't be done. Because the outcome piece, we will need more time on that. Because I don't even have my grantees submitting outcome data until they have between November and like February to submit outcome data to me.
Are you saying, Dr. Chair Sully, that it can't be done by 9:30 if we do summer of 2025 through June 2026?
Not outcome data.
Okay.
We can do everything else. I can do everything else actually at any time because they're reporting to me and giving me, you know, mid-year reports and things like that. So I can pull that data. It's really around the outcome data that's the most difficult thing for us to get. That's where those data sharing agreements are needed. That's where, you know, they get into this student did this and improved or whatever. So if it's not including outcome data, we can do it whatever time frame you like, especially if it's coming from me.
So what I'll say, and what I'll say is that if we're using data that is from summer 2025 that just passed up until June 30, 2026, and we have the summer to kind of clean up, work with data, I do appreciate, because summer would be his light months, kind of, sort of, if you're ever light when you're down one staff member, but it gives him a lot more time to do the work that is required to compile.
Okay. So that would be a decision that the commission would need to make. Something that they vote on, where they'd have to make, you know, moves, kind of thing. And so what I'm just going to recap what I've heard. Summer of 2025. So from July 1 of 25 to June 30 of 26. Is what we're saying. We're going to be collecting the biannual report data for. The biannual report does not include any outcomes. Okay. All right. So I just recap what we're saying. And it would be due September 30th. Is that correct? The data for that time frame.
To the OST office. POC,
OST
which we will
office.
establish. Hopefully we have someone by then, but yeah.
Not a problem. Okay. Any discussion around that? Any motions, moves, something? I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can move something, guys. So
No, I'm just reading Shanna's note in the chat here that
Okay,
the
let me see.
the needs assessment that's currently being done will include summer 2025 data. So it may be redundant to have that reported in the biennial report. So we really might be asking more for the summer data to be included. So really it would be, it would be the school year that we're
Yeah, I
currently
was
in, plus
yeah,
the summer of 2026, not summer 2025.
that goes back to where we started.
No, it's fine. It's just, she's just clarifying that we would be re-reporting the summer 2025 data if we had that, but that's fine.
But isn't
So-
that establishing a baseline? Because this report, your biennial report or our biennial report has not ever been created, right?
Correct.
This is new. So we
Mhm.
do need to have some sort of a baseline. And if it's every other year, right? Thinking about that. And I has anyone drafted or an outline or anything that we could just be a little more concrete of what is it that we're trying, like what progress are we reporting on? I say.
So it's already been created. We can share with you.
Okay.
I know that you're new to Mac, but we can share
I
that.
know.
No, it's
Thank
fine.
you.
It's fine. It's a learning curve. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
We can share that
that
with
may
you.
help us. Yeah.
So the progress report has already been created, vetted, discussed,
Oh,
approved.
okay.
Just a question of like, are we in agreement with when it's going to be disseminated, when stuff is going to be reported, etc. And if so, because we literally have it to kind of send out right now.
Sorry, repeat the last part.
We literally have it that we can disseminate right now to folks. It's in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, based on the note that Shanna put in, I'm sorry, I need to sneeze. Shanna, are you recommending that does that take us back to where we were in the very beginning? Do we do school year only? I'm thinking out loud, folks. Or do we do this school year that we're in and summer? That's back to square one. So which is it?
There's a lot of youth service going on in the summer in the city, particularly when I think about the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Agreed.
I don't know that we want to leave out the summer. I don't know, because it's so integral to what's happening.
So then which summer then?
My instinct says the summer of to do the summer 25. And even though we're saying that it may be redundant, I'd be very interested in seeing if we get the same numbers since we've had more time to gather the data. Because I had to report on what I had at that moment without my official reports from my grantees. And so it may be a little different once I get everything from them. Because we're still in the middle of our year. And so it's kind of like they don't report to me everything yet. And so I would be interested in doing 25, summer 25 and the school year. And I think that sets us up when we do the next one where we'll be getting that information. And so we'll be already on the cycle that we want to be on. That's my little 2 cents.
I'm in support of that if it gives my team the summer to kind of get things situated. Anyone has a motion, or is there a need for more discussion? I'm looking at time because there's a lot to get through.
I'll just go ahead and move to approve this decision. That I guess the decision being to have city agencies that use public funds to support youth programming provide data to the OST office on the summer of 2025 and the school year 25-26 to the OST office on September 30th of 2026.
For programming ending on June 30.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Well
No,
stated.
no, sounds good. We need a second. Sorry.
I'll
I know,
second,
right?
I'll second
but
that.
I just need a clarification.
Yeah, I will gladly second that. That was such a fantastic summary.
It was
Absolutely.
amazing.
I could
Yeah.
not have done that, so thank you.
That was awesome. I do have one clarification though, because you specifically said local funding.
Oh,
Oh,
touche.
okay. Right.
I just want to be clear, like
Sorry. Well, you want the federal and
mhm.
local.
you want me,
mhm.
yes.
Federal
Yeah,
and local funds.
Don't call my people.
Sorry, can I
Okay.
ask also how are we defining agency?
Oh, that's a great
DC
question.
government.
Decent, yeah.
But that leaves out the charters. The charters are not, well, they're local
I-
education agencies. They are agencies.
Yeah, so by
right?
agencies, we're talking about LEAs, not okay. Just making
Yeah. Yes.
And we're
LEAs.
talking about other agencies like the, I don't know, arts and, I don't know what
Yes,
others.
yes, yes, yes.
Park and
yes,
Rec
yes,
and-
yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. And some of them go, some of those other agencies have programs up to the very, very end. And if we're asking them for data by September 30th during that current summer, they may not have that information. And that's another reason why I think doing 25 again would be helpful. All right. So you made your motion.
Hanson seconded.
Oh, he did? Okay, thank you,
Mhm.
Commissioner Hanson, for seconding it. And at this time, then we are able to take a vote on it. Let's see. Ignore what I'm doing. I just have everybody's names written down. All right, Commissioner Berkey,
Approve.
Commissioner Goldstein,
Approve.
Commissioner Hanson,
Approve.
Commissioner Colbert,
Approve.
Commissioner Mack,
Approve.
and I approve. That is 6, and it passes. All right, let me get back to where I was. Okay. All right, so I think we are finished that discussion and we can move on to the next thing. And now we're going to be looking at commission and committee updates, the Learn 24 networks. Let's start with the OST office.
So
Any
bear with me.
updates?
Yes, please bear with me as I give these updates on the behalf of my team. Couple of things, as Shanna mentioned, we are knee deep in the needs assessment. Our goal is to complete it by the end of this calendar year, December of 2025. Again, the family survey, if you can, please disseminate it to our families. Khadija or Shanna, please drop it in the chat again so folks don't have to go scrolling looking for it. We are currently meeting regularly with our sister agencies, in addition to PAVE and DC Action, to build collaborative partnerships, to share information, and to engage in mutually beneficial visioning, planning, and coordination and problem solving for OST across DC. This year, our office is having a part of the DOES high school internship program. We are going to have 3 interns beginning on October 1, and the students are from 3 seniors. One is from IDEA, one is from Eastern, and one is from BASIS, 3 high school seniors. For a resource allocation, all FY25 grantee invoices have been submitted to DIFS. We are working on our FY26 requisitions to be submitted on 10/1 and PO numbers to be generated by 10/31. FY26 invoicing FY25 invoicing closes out on 9/30. And all of our grantees have invoiced their final invoices, but we are waiting for tests for 7 hours specifically to kind of close those out. Invoicing has been on time, and payments as well in FY25. Generally speaking, we have increased by approximately 20%, with payments being rendered on time when compared to FY24. Sale-wise survey is going to be distributed annually from our office to our grantees, and every year after that, compared to 2 times per year, and then once in the summer. Quickly for project management, the Most DC portal is in phase 2 of the build. We have DPRs programs integrated into the portal, Supreme Teens, Young Ladies, etc., Young Men's Future Leaders program. In the coming weeks, we will be able to view all programs offered by DC Public Libraries. as well as DOES, Out of School Time Youth Apprenticeship Program. We are also in conversation with DC Public Charter School Alliance to map out how we will integrate charter school, after school, and summer options into the portal. One thing I also wanted to mention to you all is that our office has been nominated for an Innovation Award. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you can be so kindly as to click that link, scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see the Learn 24 Network logo at the bottom. Pull it up, scroll all the way to the bottom. It's the last category, Innovation Award. Click the Learn 24 and just do us a solid and click vote. Votes are you can vote every single day up until 10:31. So you get a vote, you get a vote, you get them. So if everyone can please do us a favor and vote, whenever you remember, oh yeah, I forgot this, vote up until 10:31. It will really help amplify the work of all of us, because all of us are going to be captured at some point in the portal. And also it helps Octo as well, who is our partner for the Most Disease portal. So please, please, please share it. Please also vote. Scroll all the way down, click the Learn 24 logo, and it will pop up the vote. Click it, and you will have submitted your vote for us. It really does amplify. There's so many different states that are a part of the competition, but it will help amplify DC specifically in the tech and also in the OST space. What else can I share with you guys? The Institute, by the end of Q3, they had hosted 110 PD opportunities with over 1,500 unduplicated attendees. We created a workshop to kind of ramp us up for FY26. That's supporting that is specifically to support special populations, entitled quote strategies for special populations, and this was provided to our in-service grantees in August. A variety of our youth development trainings have been offered this past year to DCPL. So we've partnered with DCPL for trainings. We've partnered with DPR, partnered with DYRS, DCPS, OST, etc., to provide trainings for those folks that stand in front of our kids. For FY25 grants, and I'm wrapping up, for FY25 grants, they are closed out, and we are ramping up for FY26 continuations. Those awards were made on August 25th to all of our 143 eligible continuation grantees, to the tune of just over $25 million. This is going to be the final year 3 of a 3-year cycle. And we're also going to be running our FY27 competition in the coming months. So the doors will all be open for anyone who's eligible to apply to throw their hat in the ring to be a part of our new 3-year grant cycle beginning in FY27. We also awarded capacity building grants specifically to small nonprofits. The money was moneying, it was tight, but we were able to squeeze, something in response to an ongoing, ask and an ongoing need for our small nonprofits to support their ability to be able to, best serve our kids and help them with their work as an organization. So we have for year rounds $6,000 each, and then for year round $6,000 each, and then for school year small nonprofits $4,500. That is the last thing I'll share. It's a lot from our office, but that is the updates for us for the OST office, and I'll close it up by saying, vote, vote, vote.
Thank you. And I've been voting. DCPS, any updates?
Just very briefly, we have about 6,000 students that are currently participating in the out of school time program at 55 schools. We still have quite a few students on the wait list. And we really have to appreciate our friends at Learn 24 at the OST office for the partnership with them in working on the MOST portal. It's been a very productive partnership of working with Tabitha, and we really appreciate the support that we've been getting, particularly from her in training people and troubleshooting and responding to parents and all kinds of things. So thank you for that. On the partnership side, Abigail Cohen, our partnerships manager, reports that her team is continuing to work on the MOUs, I guess they're MOUs with, or MOAs with partners, and just supporting partner needs as they have issues with facility use or any other issues as they start their work in schools this school year. So those are our two main activities at this point.
Oh, thank you. Commissioner Colbert, any updates?
So, I currently don't have any updates to share for this meeting. I am meeting soon with the Alliance, hoping to gain more insight. So for next meeting, I can come with some things to share. Also want to put out there that although it's a busy time of year, if anyone wants to discuss anything OST related with me outside of these meetings or anything, please like make time to email me, put time on my calendar. Always want to learn more. So thank you.
Thank you. And if you want to reach out to any of us, please feel free to do so. CPR, I didn't see any reps. Commissioner Berlin is not here. I see. So for us, we are also in, actually, I think everyone has submitted their continuation applications, which means I have a lot of reviewing to do. We are also in the middle of doing our federal government data collection. And we talked a little bit about that earlier. We're on a different time frame, the one that we're about to do for the biannual report. And so we're collecting that information. And as far as partnerships, I want to thank the OST office for the partnership that they've had with IC. They were able to provide training for all of my 21st century people through the Institute, through an MOU that we have with them. And we are going to continue down that vein because I think that the partnership is working extremely well. And it's just another opportunity for us all to be on the same page in order to be able to speak the same language. And so I'm really excited that we're doing that. And a little bit later, we'll talk about something else that we will be very involved in. But I do want to say, as of a few months ago, and I think we talked about it in the June meeting, I'm not sure, but the showcase that we put on was extremely meaningful to not just our grantees, but then the students, but then to the families that were able to come out as well. And so it's definitely something that we're going to continue to do. And we will talk about that a little bit more as we move forward. Okay. Deputy Mayor for Education. Who's speaking for this one? Is this Commissioner Mack?
It could be both. If you
Okay.
don't have any of this, it's okay. Dr. Mack
Yeah.
or
Commissioner
I have a
Goldstein, yeah.
couple quick, I have a couple quick updates and then maybe overlap a bit with in Commissioner Verlin's absence that legislatively we can chat. So last November there was a hearing on OST. As many of you may remember, there is nothing scheduled for this fall that explicitly focuses on OST, but there's a lot that kind of
Connects.
So there's a like an attendance hearing, and we know that lots of our OST programs are, some of the reasons why kids come to school. There's an academic achievement hearing, and we know that, tutoring and mentoring can really support academic achievement. So just to say nothing explicitly OST can focus, but it might be, I would just encourage everyone to take a look at the schedule and see where there is something that intersects with your agency or your organization. We are heading into budget formulation sooner than later. So we'll be, thinking about FY27 decisions. Hard to believe that is the case. And lastly, I just want to, echo something that Dr. Lowe shared just around, the exciting work that's coming with Most DC. And just to say that, I think from where I sit, I see people pushing it out a lot in their networks. I see a lot of uptake, but just a call to action to everyone to keep pushing that out in your networks. I keep finding myself in spaces where people don't yet know about it. So just making sure that we're making sure that as many families as possible can access this great resource. That's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Mack, did you have something you wanted to share? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. No, not at this time.
Commissioner Hanson?
Hey, can you folks hear me? Am I off?
Yes, we can hear
Can you
you.
hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Sorry. There's always a little bit of lag on my end. No big updates from the Coordination and Collaboration Committee. We took the summer off after, I think, squeezing in an extra work session. I think it was in June to finish our feedback on the survey. We have set a new meeting schedule for the committee. We will begin meeting
Chair Hansen,
on.
I'm gonna interject really quickly. This is not committee
Oh,
updates as yet. It's simply
Yeah,
like
this,
anything
sorry.
related to DC action, anything you're hearing on the
Oh, DC,
ground.
I'm sorry. You got to remind me what hat I'm supposed to be wearing.
this is your DC action hat.
Yeah, sorry. I thought everyone else was doing their reports. I don't have a DC action report for tonight, so just come back to me when it's a committee update. Then.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
See, I'm the only one that's paying attention. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding, okay?
Oh, sorry. Can I add one thing that I forgot to add?
Yes.
I just wanted I think thank everyone for their participation in the commission, and also say I know that the commission is not full, and so we are hoping to introduce a slate of candidates this fall to fill out the commission. And just want to share a big shout out to Dr. Lowe and to Shanna for all of their advocacy and their good thinking and their shaking of the trees to find great candidates. So excited to have that out in the world, hopefully sooner than later.
Thank you. All right. Governance Committee. Let's see what is going on with us. We actually took the summer off, which was, I think, needed for us. But a couple of things that were done, and I think you did get a copy of the OST Commission Standard Operating Procedures. Was that sent out? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay. So
Yes.
take an opportunity to look through that. Also, you received the committee engagement member list and the FY26 calendar. And the other thing would be around what Commissioner Goldstein was just talking about, membership for the commission. Right now, I am happy to say, and I'm going to say it with belief, that they are going to all go through. All go through, then we will be completely full. Our commission will have all of the representation that we are supposed to have. And so we're just waiting for that to happen sooner rather than later is the hope and the plan. All right. If I'm missing anything from that, guys, please feel free to jump in and share. Thank you. Next is coordination and collaboration.
Cue
This is
Commissioner
where I give the
Hansen.
DC action update.
Look like other hat.
Yeah. All right.
Not a
Hat,
DC
hat,
action. It's
hat,
funny.
Yeah. All right. As I was saying, we completed all the objectives on our section of the strategic plan this summer. I'm just kidding. We took the summer off, but did complete our work before we took July and August off. So we've set a new meeting schedule. Typically, we will meet the second Monday of each month, but right off the bat in October, we have a scheduling conflict for Indigenous Peoples Day, so we've pushed that meeting back to the 20th. And we're going to convene to identify our priorities for the remainder of the calendar year and in support of the strategic plan. And so we'll have action steps to report out after that. So that's what I got.
Thank you. Thank you. Funding capacity.
We do not currently have a chair, so I can just give a quick update. What we do, we have a chair not from the commission. Janita Finley, who is on the call tonight, who is one of our pending commissioners, has agreed to step up and fill the role of the commissioner. I'm sorry, the committee chair. If we have any commissioners that will co-chair with her, please do so. But in the lieu of that, she is serving as the chair, and we will have our first committee meeting on October 8th, at which time we will identify our priorities for the remainder of this calendar year. And we also look forward to developing the action steps and measurable objectives for the strategic plan for next at the beginning of this next calendar year.
Okay, great. And thank you, Ms. Finley, for being the chair of that committee. This is a fun committee. So You'll be able to get a lot of work done and help us move it forward. Outcomes and needs.
Same thing. We do not yet have any commissioner who would step up to chair this committee. So we have Leandro Travieso, who wanted to be with us tonight, but was unable to. He is also a pending new commissioner. I should say both Janita Finley and Leo are providers or manage organizations that are OST providers and OST grantees. Janita Finley runs a medical ascension program for high schoolers in Ward 8. And Leo works with Liberty's Promise that works with immigrant students in 3 of our DC high schools, 2 DCPS and 1 charter high school. So they are well versed in OST and have been a part of these committees already and are awaiting approval by council to become actual commissioners. So I want to say kudos to both of them for stepping up. And again, we went on recess, but we will be meeting. The Outcomes and Needs Assessment Committee have returned comments from the commission as it relates to the youth survey that was put forth, you may recall, last June, and they will continue to work on that for the remainder of this calendar year and also anticipate the work for the strategic plan.
Thank you. Quality.
I would like to say that we are the committee that was not slacking over the summer. We actually met over the summer. We had a subcommittee that met to support the work on a youth assessor corps that will work alongside the quality assurance specialists from the Institute to help conduct quality assessments at after school and summer sites. And so we had to develop all the materials for that initiative and figure out how we were going to do the outreach. So we've created a position description, a promotional flyer. We've developed an application form so that we can gather basic information on applicants. They would be coming either from area high schools through DCPS and the charter sector or from UDC. They will complete an application and then be interviewed by people from the Institute quality assurance team. And then we hope that they will be fully onboarded and oriented to their role by the beginning of the, I'm going to call it the period of training to do the WICART quality improvement process, which may be starting in December or January at the latest. And they will attend then 4 trainings throughout the year to go through all the steps of that process and be able to do the assessment. So we're very excited. This is something that's been on the agenda on the strategic plan for many years, and we're really happy to be able to get it moving. We will be paying a stipend to the students that take part in this. And when they complete their service, they'll get a stipend. And I believe we're hoping to give them also a transportation stipend so that they can access all of the different schools that they might be visiting and program locations that they might be visiting. But I think we're only anticipating developing a core of 5 or 6 youth assessors. So we're really excited about this, and we will be meeting on the second Tuesday of every month, starting on October 14th. The meetings are from 1 to 2 p.m., and I believe the calendar is available on the Learn24 website, and we would love anybody that wants to come and sit in on meetings and take part in those discussions to join us at those meetings. Thanks.
Thank you. Strategic planning, our special committee.
So we are super excited to get started. We will have our first convening next week. The numbers are this. It's a long list of folks who want to be a part of this committee, as they absolutely should be. So we will have our first meeting next week. We will be meeting the first and third week of each month on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in short, 4 times a month to start us out, and we'll see how that goes. But we'll be responsive to the committee members. we do have representation from a couple of our partners on the call, but we would love to have additional folks from the different agencies because this plan is going to directly impact all of our Learn 24 network partners. And so we don't want to speak on anyone's behalf. We want folks from those agencies to speak for themselves and bring their views and their thoughts and their perspectives to the OST table for DC government and LEAs. So hopefully you guys know who you are, who whether you have a representative on the strategic planning committee or not. And if not, please review the materials that were sent. And if you have someone in mind to represent your team or your body of work, please let us know. Email oscommission@dc.gov, or let me know if you don't want to be as formal, or let Dr. Sully know, so we can get you guys up and running and included. But we will begin our convenings next week, and we have a whole cadre of folks who are a part of that. So stay tuned. We will provide updates as they become available to the commission on where we are in the strategic planning process. That is what I'll share for now for this committee specifically.
Well, I'd like to thank you for stepping up to be the chair of this special committee. So it says voting. What is going
Chair,
on with thank you for chair
and vice chair.
For chair and vice chair. I was just about to say we didn't talk about that, so we need to. So the positions, officers are only for a year, and it's definitely been a year for me. And so it is open for if someone else is interested in being the chair. Let
me pause for a second. I don't think folks are aware. Just as a general awareness, Vice Chair Jones has shared the updates around Peacock and Jones. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So Vice Chair Jones and Commissioner Peacock both said that due to other things, they're not going to be able to continue on the commission. And so with that being said, that leaves our vice chair position completely open. And again, I was starting to say that the officer positions are only for 1 year. And so we have to vote each year for that position. And so at this time,
there's a link in the chat. We're gonna put a link in the chat. So
okay.
Just really quickly, we asked folks to share their nominations. Many were nominated, some declined, as they absolutely have the right to. And please, if you know you don't have the capacity, don't, right? That's 100% okay. So right now we had one nomination for chair, which was accepted as a nomination, and one nomination for vice chair. Well, there were others, but folks declined. And one nomination for vice chair, which was also accepted. If you want to vote for those folks, you absolutely can. If you don't want to vote for those folks, you can abstain, and we're going to put the link in the chat. Khadija, please, you have it. Put it in the chat, but please place your nominations. Sorry, your votes, not nominations. Please place your votes. Dr. Sully, hide your screen. We don't want to see who you vote for.
Just said I moved it. I don't want you to see.
Please, really quickly, if you don't want to vote, abstain, click abstain, but we will tally those votes and share if there's a winner. There's not many options to choose from, as you will be able to see. But we can either do that in real time if you can pull it really quickly once votes are done, or share after the meeting if we have a clear chair and vice chair as we move forward. So please take a moment and put your votes in. I'll do so as well. Well, no, I can't. Sorry.
Dr. Lowe, I'm just uncertain. Are you, in your role as head of the OST office, are you also able to serve as one of the, in these leadership roles on the commission? I just
can't vote. I don't mind if I'm not able to vote.
Okay. So
is there anything that says I can't serve in a leadership capacity?
No, I don't know. I just didn't know. I wasn't sure whether you could. So you'd be in that role, but as a non-voting member.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay, I see.
Any other questions?
If you have any technical issues, please let us know. But please, everyone, vote. So we got at least how. Oh, I'm sorry. This was done backwards. My apologies. Pitches. You were supposed to share like why I want to be the chair and why I want to be the vice chair. But
I want to continue the work that we've started. How's that?
That's your pitch. And I
That was
want
my
to
pitch.
my apologies. That should have come first, but I want to support the commission and the Learn 24 network as a unit and getting us to that point where we are considered a unit, not only by us, but everyone in the OST space in DC.
Agreed.
So we will tally though, well, not me. Khadija will tally those votes and let us know where folks land. And then we will share the results once we kind of check them to make sure that those who are able to vote do and have voted, who chose to. And then we will share those to you guys in a communication that goes out tomorrow. Because that would be difficult to tally.
Good luck. I hope you don't stay up too late, like, biting your nail.
Crunching the numbers.
Look.
All those mail-in ballots are gonna mess us up.
All right, Commissioner Berkey, I ain't messing with you today. Okay.
Oh.
With all of that, oh yeah, here was a screen for that. Sorry. Commissioner Chair and Vice Chair. All right. Upcoming meetings, November 20th, January 29th, March 26th, May 28th, June 25th, and then September 24th. The last two say that they are in person. I can tell you right now that I'll probably bring this up another time for us to be like, this is what we really want to do. But right now, these are all of our dates for a virtual tour in person. Just so you're aware of that. And if there are no other announcements or things like that, I will wait for someone to move. Don't they have to move? We have to move, don't we? Okay, wait for someone to move. I hear you, Commissioner Hanson. Go ahead.
Yeah, I motion that we start putting the kids to bed.
Okay.
We adjourn. I got my little guy screaming his head up downstairs.
Okay.
Oh no.
Second.
He's having fun.
A second.
Thank you. So we have Commissioner Hanson who moved and Commissioner Mack who second. Now up for a vote.
Any opposed? Just do any opposed. Good.
Thank you. You know I want to,
Thank
right?
you.
Is there anyone who, any discussion? Anyone who opposes?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all so much. We
Oh,
are
no.
journeying at 7:43.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care. Have a great
Good
night.
night and good luck, folks.
Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.